Hello! Welcome to a spooky, scary Halloween episode.
That's right.
Oh!
Whoa!
The bats! Whoa! Spooky! Today, we're going to be talking about...
Top 5 horror.
Top 5? Top 10?
Top 10.
Top 10 horror movies.
Top 5 plus 5 more.
No particular order. This is not per se my top 10,
but
not
it's a
his top 10, our combined,
top 10.
our favorite, some of our favorite 10 horror movies. Starting off, a little film, a little diddle called Raw.
Yep.
Raw is a great art house horror movie on Netflix about a girl.
It's a Spanish film, right?
French.
Yeah.
French horror movie about a girl who goes to vet school. I'm not going to spoil what happens, but turns out maybe she has a little hankering
for human flesh.
Ow! Oh, whoa! It's very good. One thing I like about it a lot is the soundtrack. Special effects are very realistic. Mm-hmm. There's just kind of a feeling of just something's gonna go wrong the entire movie, which I like. Very, very good horror movie.
That's definitely crazy. Next up, we got Geralds Game. Also,
another movie
surprising
on Netflix.
Movie that we did not expect to enjoy. We heard a couple good things about it. We're like, hey, why don't we give a little look-see? But Gerald's Game is about
based on a Stephen King
book. So it's basically about a couple who are sort of starting to be estranged from each other. How their relationships sort of not like it used to be. So to sort of re-spark their relationship, they go on like this little trip to his vacation house,
like a beach
in like
house.
the middle of like the woods and like
on a lake or something.
Yeah, and they knew ahead of time that a lot of they made sure that no one was going to come to interrupt their time together, and basically so they're about to have a little fun time in the bedroom. And
not for kids, warning.
Not for kids.
This one is
look
not
out,
for
look
kids.
out.
Shield the eyes.
None of these are really for little boys and girls, but whatever. So then she's getting he handcuffs her to both ends of the. Oh, is it above?
No, it's this way.
Yeah, both ends. Yeah. She gets handcuffed to both ends of the post of the.
Don't say much else.
And then
watch it.
No, this is part of it.
But they don't want to know what happens. They're gonna watch it for themselves because we're recommending it.
All I gotta say
there's a very creepy dude.
Man,
the Moonlight Man. You'll see him.
We don't say anything
very scary.
Look out, okay?
And then there's this one part.
There's only a handful of moments in movies that get me. Get me a little spooked.
Very intense part involving.
No more.
Not gonna say anything else.
This situation, the part in this movie made me think of. Do you remember Insidious 2? When the kids are talking to each other in the bedroom, and they have the two boys are under their sheets, and they have the can with the string.
Woman runs out.
They're talking, and then he finds out the can's in the closet, and you see it go up. That's not the creepy part. I just don't like people who are when their face is covered and they're huddled over in a corner. I just don't. It's just kind of spooky. That's a part.
Next, The Mist. The Mist is a great little film about this group of people stuck inside a convenience store, grocery store type place.
Mm-hmm. When a mysterious fog sets.
Isn't that another Stephen King?
I think so. I don't know.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Fog comes in and don't go out in the fog or else something bad's gonna happen.
They were told to avoid it by by people who said they were in it. Some guy came running out from the fog into the grocery store saying, "Don't go out there." It's actually Dale from Walking Dead. If any of you Walking Dead viewers remember him, great character. He got killed because of Carl, but don't worry about it. Anyways,
very good. I love the ending of this movie. Mm-hmm. It's a very good ending. It's a fitting ending.
It's about human nature and how crazy people can go to, but it's also about a physical sort of
monster creatures type movie. It's very good.
It's pretty good. Next we got a little movie. I'm assuming some of you have seen it. It's called Insidious. One of the classic sort of this is what I would label this as, a sort of reawakening of modern blockbuster horror. Would you agree with me?
Sure.
Because it was the first of something like the way a lot of horror movies now are sort of structured to sort of mimic a view of like Insidious. That's what I would say.
But Insidious
like James
is
Wan's,
better by far.
Oh, of course, it's so much
The
better.
first Insidious is a
It's
great
the best
movie.
of all of the Insidious movies. Also,
How many have there been?
there's the
5.
first,
No, there's
second,
been 4.
chapter, and then there's chapter 3, and then there was that awful one. Yes, there's
First
4.
first
Yeah,
3.
there's 4.
I liked the first trio of them. The
first two
is still,
are ones that are
the
directly
first
linked
is
to
still
each
the
other.
best. Second one's very good. Third one is still good.
It's pretty good.
The third is
Forgettable,
enjoyable.
but it was.
I liked it. Because you wouldn't expect, usually when horror movies make a long sequence of movies, they usually get like really bad really fast. But through the third Insidious, good
And then
movies,
the
I
fourth
recommend.
one, the
The
last
fourth
key
one's
is one of
horrible.
the worst movies of all time.
It's really
Don't worry
bad.
about it.
It reminds me of a sequel of another movie on this list that we're going to get to. That was so disappointing and horrible. Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
Insidious-
it reminds me of Sinister. Sinister 2 was horrible. Do you remember
Oh
Sinister
god,
2?
it was
horrible.
absolutely terrible.
Anyways, back to Insidious.
But Insidious is about a boy who somehow gets into a coma from something that occurs to him up in the attic of their new house. And the parents are worried that he's never going to wake up, but then they sort of realize that the boy has some sort of dark entity surrounding him, related to whenever he would go to sleep, or whenever he would dream, he might see some certain creatures and
really good movie. It's full of jump scares, but
Yeah.
they're jump scares
Well
that
placed.
work and are good.
But it's James Wan, so you know he's just going to make like these loud sounds that get thrown in with a jump scare.
very good movie.
Yeah.
Next is a classic, is the Shining.
God, is that another? It's another Stephen King.
Yeah. I love Stanley Kubrick. I think this is one of Stanley Kubrick's best movies.
It's one of those few movies that are a lot better than the book. Because isn't it like so?
The
It's
book's
like it's supposed
pretty
to be
good.
drastically different from
I
the
like
book.
the book. Yeah, they're pretty different. But The Shining is about a family of 3 that goes to a hotel.
The guy gets hired and is told he can bring his family with
Yeah,
him
they're
to
gonna
watch,
like,
over,
watch
the
over the hotel.
during winter.
And he's a writer, so he's going there and he thinks it'll be a good opportunity to write, but he starts kind of going insane, and it's just it's a story about his kind of descent into
chaos.
insanity. Really good, really effective. It still holds up today,
It does, yep.
even though it's considered a
Visuals,
classic.
a lot of the framing for a lot of the shots I really like.
It holds up today well.
It's very. I'm trying to think of a way to describe it without. This isn't like an insult, but it's a very square look to it. You know what I mean?
I have no idea what you're talking
like
about.
hallway. It feels like they match. I don't know how really to explain this.
No, claustrophobic?
No.
I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest. Anyways, let's move on. Shining.
Next, we got a great old movie called It Follows. Not a lot of people have seen it. Hopefully, more will over the course of time.
It's on Netflix now,
It's on
so I'm
Netflix,
sure
yeah.
more people have
So
seen
It Follows is a very simple premise in the fact that it's about a girl who has sex with this guy who she thought she liked, but really all this guy did, it was a way to pass on this sort of evil entity
It's like an
that follows
evil
you.
STD.
Yeah, sort of, yeah. And it's a this thing walks at a normal pace. It'll find a way to get to you no matter what. Even
But
if
it's
you're
just, it's always,
at a consistent
always
pace, and it's
walking
always
towards
following you, and it's always going to come to you.
so you
Like,
gotta,
no matter how, even if you fly away, like it'll
something's
eventually,
always
you'll
gonna
worry
make
about
its
it.
way to you.
But and once it gets to you, it'll kill you and just like break you.
And
But
it goes
also,
down the line of
yeah, and you're like the only one who can see it, basically, for the most part.
you
and
or someone else in
who
the
has been
chain
affected
of,
by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, it's super solid, very simple, enjoyable characters. The girl in it, I'm forgetting her name.
One of my
she
favorites.
is pretty good. She's been in a few horrors.
One of my favorite soundtracks for any movie, horror movie, any movie. It has a great soundtrack. Visually, it's a pretty movie. It's just the plot works, and it's pretty creepy.
Simple, easy,
effective though. Next movie, one of my favorites, The Woman in Black. It's a movie about Daniel Radcliffe is in it. Go Harry Potter! But it's about he gets sent to
He's a realtor type guy.
He gets sent out to this house where everyone, the family in the house has passed away, and he has to kind of settle the estate so that they can sell it.
It's on like an island that gets sort of trapped off from the rest of the town when the tide comes in.
Yeah, and he goes into the town first, and everyone's telling him, "Oh, don't go out there. Bad things happen out there." Like, people in the town don't want to go. So story is that there is a woman, and if you see the woman, bad things are going to happen, and death is going to come to the town, and she goes after children. Really effective horror movie. I'd call this movie kind of claustrophobic because he's in this big house alone. It has some super eerie shots of where just the woman is behind him, or some effective jump scares, but most of the time it's about seeing her in the background of places and he doesn't notice her, and it's super, super creepy. I loved it. Second one, though, is horrible.
It's really
Don't
awful.
even see
it. Takes place like 20, 30 years later after the first one.
So bad.
It's really awful.
It's not worth your time,
No,
but the original Woman in Black, highly recommend.
Yeah.
It's actually based off a book and a play, and I read the book. Not quite as scary because it's like in 1800s.
Yeah.
But great movie, Woman in Black.
Next movie on the list was a big movie from this year, Hereditary,
which we never posted the review.
Oh, we never posted.
We reviewed. So if you want to see that review, let us know. But here's our mini review, anyways.
Yeah,
it's
it's about a family who have some sort of strange origins along with the woman's mother. There's a very strange relationship where you don't really know. She used to be a part of something. We don't really know what, but some sort of weird group of people, and the family seems to be very, they're very cut off from each other. Like, they're not very close with each other.
It's kind of from the beginning. I'd say the first act or first two acts. It's mostly a family drama for the most part until kind of stuff starts.
I would say
happening.
Beginning to end, it's a family drama, but also in the I would say yes.
Yeah, but in the beginning more so.
Yeah, but it's about. For the most part, it's just about a family that has a very strange relationship and
dealing with grief and loss.
dealing with grief, and there's a sort of dark and almost paranormal relationship that happens after this grandmother's death, and some crazy things start happening.
It's super good.
You have a strange daughter. I don't want to say anything else.
It's super good.
It's really good.
Talking about soundtracks, it has a great soundtrack, especially one song in particular. But it's really good.
If you see the movie, you'll know what part of the movie we're talking about.
It's a great little piece of film. Next movie, two left. This one is Conjuring. So far, both Conjuring movies have been great, but in my opinion, the first one is better.
I like the second one a lot too.
Nah, rewatch it. I promise it's not going to be as good.
I did rewatch it. It was pretty good.
Rewatch it again and then
I rewatched it very recently, actually.
Rewatch the first one again. The first one has more of a story. Its scares, I would say, are less telegraphed. The second one's still very good. I highly recommend both. But the first Conjuring kind of sets up the story for the second one. It's just about Ed and Lorraine Warren who are kind of supernatural investigators, and they get called to help out this family, and it's kind of what takes place at their house.
His family's home.
And I'm sure you've seen our Nun review. That's kind of a spin-off of the Conjuring movies. Don't see the Nun, but see the first Conjuring and watch the second if you haven't. Last movie,
and Annabelle Creation too.
Yeah.
Easy movie. And then also, last movie we got here is The Descent, one of my favorites. It's a movie that I wouldn't really think would be one of my favorites based on its description.
I didn't want to watch.
It could.
When he didn't want to watch it, I didn't want to watch it.
I told him. I said, "Yeah, I watched this with my dad," and because he told me it was one of his favorites, and I was very skeptical because for the most part, I think slashers are lazy and just an obnoxious bloodfest with no story.
I wouldn't call it a slasher. It's kind of more like a monster movie.
It's not. But I mean, it has a very similar sort of action tone to that of
which people are just getting taken out, but
for the most part, it's about a group of women who are from the UK that are come to the US for a bachelorette getaway because one of them's getting married, and they go exploring this cave, and not to their knowledge, it's never been explored before. Anyways, they go in there, and then they discover some sort of creatures that
zombie type.
that lie. No, I don't really say zombies. That like Smeagol type creatures.
They're like zombies
that lie in wait in the underground parts of this cave. And
it's really scary.
It's really good.
It's a good movie.
Good characters too. Even the like they had time to do a nice flesh out of the characters. But yeah.
So that's our top 10 horror movies.
A combined sort of list between the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Click like, subscribe. Happy Halloween.
Happy
I know
Halloween,
it's not
everybody.
for a couple weeks, but we thought we'd get you in the spirit.
Get you in a little spooks up in the beginning.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.